Hey everyone, Patrick CK here with a follow-up to my review and installation guide for the Aukey DR02 Dashcam. Before we dive into the details, I just want to say thank you to all my subs. We hit 2,000 recently, which I think is absolutely momentous. So thank you all, looking forward to more milestones. Just like my original review of the Asus AC1300 router, I like to come back around a year later or so to examine what it's been like to actually live with something I've recommended so highly, the good and the bad. It's also a perfect time to answer a bunch of questions I've been asked about the DR02 since my initial video. If you haven't seen the first video about this dashcam, check it out and come on back when you're done. I'll leave a card linking to it above. For a device that's technically meant to be installed and forgotten until you need it, the Aukey has performed spectacularly. I installed it in such a way that it was completely out of sight, so I really did forget it was there sometimes. If I ever did need some footage, I'd just pop out the SD card, upload it to my computer, and pop it back in. And to follow up with one viewer's question, the way you insert the micro SD card is like this, with the contacts facing down, which may seem a little counterintuitive when looking at it. To answer another common question, you do need to remove the SD card to download the footage, as plugging in the camera itself just turns it on to record. This does require an SD card reader. The one I've been using for the last year and longer is this Transcend TS-RDF 5K USB 3.0 multi-card reader. You can find it on Amazon for $8 at the link below. You could also pick up this Anker USB Type-C card reader, which can be hooked up directly to your phone, assuming it has a Type-C connection like my Samsung S9, and upload footage directly to it for storage or to share. This is a really cool little adapter that removes the need for a computer or laptop. It's only $13 on Amazon, link to it below. One thing I still love about the DR02 is how easy it is to mount and unmount the camera whenever I feel the need to put it out of sight. Even with its subdued design, you just don't know in some places. I still contend that this is a far superior mounting system than all the suction cup designs. It simply won't move or get jostled out of place over time due to everyday vibration, or after hitting a pothole or two. Of course, the only downside being the ability to remove the whole camera system and put it in another car easily. This is partly why Aukey gives you two mounting brackets in the box. I never had to move it, so it didn't affect my opinion of it, but your needs may vary. Even though I drive in and around the Atlanta area, I'm happily surprised to report that the only crazy video I have to show over a year's worth of footage is this guy. Now watch this. We get behind him as he's leaving the apartment complex. He drives up the hill here, underestimates the turn, pops the curve, and hits a light pole. And a good thing no one was trying to leave the gas station at the same time. Even though that was the only slightly major incident I caught, this is still Georgia. So there was plenty of this kind of stuff to deal with on a daily basis. I mean, seriously, what the frack are you doing? Just move. Then you got this box truck running the light. Or this dude who is in some kind of rush. Finally, you got me crossing 5 lanes on the highway in one fell swoop. Yeah, pro skills. Anyway, with that aside, the only real glitch I've run into were some corrupted frames that popped up seemingly at random during playback. Out of the 40+ hours of video that I've actually reviewed, there may have been 12 corrupted frames that were obvious, like this one. In the grand scheme of things, it seems not to be a major issue unless of course it's right when you need it. To my best estimation, I've recorded roughly 400 hours of footage since I installed the DR02. Doing some back of the napkin math, with the above ratio I came to estimate a corruption level of about 0.8%, or roughly 3 full minutes of unusable footage from those 400 hours of recordings. When I first noticed these corrupted files, I decided to see if switching the SD card would make a difference. So I took out the Kingston 64 gig Class 10 UHS 1 grade SD card, which on its own is a good quality card, and popped in a Samsung 128 gig Class 10 UHS 3 grade SD card. But after 3 months, I noticed the same corrupted frames occurring at pretty much the same rate. So I have to believe there must be a transcoding issue from the camera itself, or some cosmic bit flipping. Again, this hasn't been a huge issue, but I'm curious to see if it gets worse. So other than that, I really don't have any complaints. The video quality is excellent during the day, at night, and everything in between. All the pieces have stood the test of time this far, something I can't say about some other cameras, so I'll still recommend it, especially if you don't plan or need to move it from one card to another frequently. Now time to go over some of the most frequently asked questions from the last year. This will actually be a two-parter. I'm dedicating a whole video for the motion detection feature and what you need to make it work when the car is parked. It's more complicated than it sounds, and there's a lot to cover. So hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to get notified when that video comes out. The one item I didn't go over in my first video is how to adjust the camera's view. The body of the camera does not actually move when mounted. Only the housing that holds the lens and the sensor can actually move. It can tilt vertically as far as 90 degrees from its original position. And of course, once the camera is mounted, you can use the screen to hone in the view. It locks in at 15-degree intervals, so whether you drive a H1 Hummer with a straight vertical windshield or a GT60 with a crazy backslope windshield, the camera will always have a great view. Now, about that gray double-sided tape that comes pre-installed on the mounts. As I alluded to, and many of you have confirmed, this gray color just stands out far too much. So soon after I installed my camera, I replaced the gray double-sided tape with the same 3M double-sided VHB adhesive, but in black. VHB apparently stands for very high bond. Who knew? I bought a 1-inch wide by 15-foot long roll on Amazon for 14 bucks. 15 feet is a lot for this application, but this stuff is useful for so many things, so I'm good. To replace the stock tape, use the blade on the handle to carefully pull off the bracket so not to scratch the windshield. Peeled off the old tape and replaced it with about 3 centimeters, 1 1/4 inch length of the new black tape. That's all you really need. I adhered it back in place and voila, much better. Of course, you can also use it on the cable loops. Highly recommended. Link to the roll I bought will be in the description. Next up, the emergency recording mode. It's the first button in the lineup below the screen, and honestly I didn't realize what it did until recently, and it's pretty important if you remember to hit it when needed. When activated, it puts the current recording and any recording that follows while it's active into a separate folder from all the other footage. This protects it from being overwritten no matter how much more standard mode footage is recorded. Of course, if you forget that emergency recording mode is on, you will fill up your memory card until it's full. It will only turn off when you turn off the camera. You'll know it's active because this small warning icon will be on the top of the screen. I've read a couple complaints that some other customers have had issues with dates not recording properly or settings being reverted to default after powering down. Unfortunately, I can't speak to this issue as I have not experienced it while I've owned mine. Now, last but not least, the glare from the dashboard has been a bane since I first bought my car. After researching a few things, I settled on getting a mat for the dashboard. I was still pretty skeptical about it, so I tried to find the cheapest one that fits the weirdly shaped and oddly large dash of the 2013 Honda Fit, also known as the Honda Jazz in other markets. After leaving the $50+ mats on Amazon behind, I found this one on eBay for 15 bucks with free shipping from China. Funny enough, it's made by a company called Aukey. Maybe they're the 24th cousin of Aukey? It took 3 weeks to arrive, but it was worth the wait. The initial quality was surprisingly good, clean edges mostly, super soft. It just felt like a decent quality item. You can't beat it for the price. It was really easy to install. It pretty much stays in place on its own, but to be safe it comes with a handful of tabs with Velcro on the top to stick to the underside of the mat, and 3M tape on the other side to adhere to the dash itself. I only used 8 or so to secure down the corners and the odd sticky outy bits. Having used it for a few months, I have no complaints about its fit and finish. The really amazing part is the fix to the glare. Just look at the before and after here. It is a world of difference. I don't know why I didn't try this earlier. Technically there still is a reflection on the windshield, but because the mat is black and fuzzy instead of flat plastic, it actually looks like the view out the window is gamma corrected and crisper than before. 100% recommended to use a dash mat to fix this problem. Link to where I bought it on eBay will be below. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked it, consider subscribing and checking me out at cktechcheck.com. Thanks again everyone. See you all next time.